Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Simon. Welcome to another episode of Star Wars The Bad Batch, episode number 7. And moving on from the last episode, where we caught up with a couple of characters introduced late on in the Clone Wars series, Series 7. It was Trace and Rafa, the two sisters who Ahsoka worked with in the Coruscant Underground. They are kind of like Marmite, I guess. A few people I know didn't like the story they were in. A few people did. I thought the story they were in was pretty good. And I think if that had been a part of any other season of the Clone Wars and not like the final season, people probably would have taken a much better liking to them. But we saw the clones going through a droid like disassembly factory, decommissioning factory, and having to get the head of one of these tactical droids. Brought back a lot of memories, because you're getting to see the droids again. And at one point, we had the droids fighting the security guards, and it was just kind of like a blast from the past. Even though technically we only saw the clones last year in the Clone Wars, but it was still cool. We didn't get to see anything from the perspective of Crosshair or the Empire, or anything on that side of things. It was just a fun adventure inside a factory that also had security droids, and in the end, I think Hunter made the right decision in giving the information to Rafa and Trace. And they were teasing at the end a contact. We didn't really get to see anything, and the only thing we really know is it's a he. Now, it could be Bail Organa, because we know that Bail is one of the prominent figures in the early formation of the rebellion. It could be a number of people, but you just don't know at this point. You definitely feel like that if Rafa and Trace were to get involved in any side of the Galactic Civil War, it would be the rebellion. But I'm not going to hedge my bets at this point. Whether that's going to come back later on, I'm sure it will. Who knows? But we've still got... We're getting, like, with each episode, we're getting more and more little dangling threads. We had Fennec in episode, a couple of episodes back. She's definitely still out there looking for the group. Crosshair is one of them. The Empire stuff. Obviously, whoever this contact is with Trace and Rafa. And there's a lot of things that are kind of being left unanswered. And, we've still got like another 11 episodes in this season. And I don't even know if there will be a second season. I hope there will. But, there's plenty of time to sort all that out. So, without further ado, we're going to jump into this episode. Before we do, I want to say a big thank you to all of my Patreon super supporters. ErenanSteelpelt, Ernesto Sanchez Jr, Frank Tremel, Karen Abel, Nightwing0102, Michael Y, Mr. Greg89, Nick Walters, Nightwolf37, and Olly Brown. So, without further ado, let's jump in and let's see what happens. Oh.
That depends on when Echo plans on getting the drive back online.
They are the sounds of the Jedi Starfighters.
More charges, gear, fuel, rations.
Wow.
20 cartons of Mantel mix.
Ah.
That's part of the mission.
You're running up a tab.
14 credits for the Mantel mix.
Shit, move it.
That looks like the same shoulder of the contact.
But I'm not running a charity here. Before you see my ugly side.
That's not her ugly side.
What's that, Goggle?
Uh-oh.
Hey,
That's
what's
Rex.
going on in here?
That's Rex. I saw the armor.
Who are you?
It's Rex. Yeah.
Where have you been, Rex? That's a long story.
We have time. We have lots of time.
They told me I could find you here, and that you were traveling with a kid.
Is he starting to go a bit grey?
Where is she?
There, Rex.
Yeah.
Good to see you too, Wrecker.
I thought you didn't like the rigs.
This one we like.
He's not a reg.
Omega?
You're a Generation 1.
How'd you know that?
From the lines in your face.
Yeah, you're getting old.
Yeah, I guess I've been around.
You can actually see the dents in his forehead
I need one of those med packs.
where he's got wrinkles. and he is going to help get rid of the chip.
Nothing. It's just a headache.
Except in Crosshair.
You're telling me you haven't removed your chips?
No, not yet.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Rex, those chips make you a threat to me. It is not something you can control. I couldn't.
You did for a while.
It's a risk you do not want to take.
You did a damn good job of controlling it. Oh. Oh, Braca. I'm sure this is the place where they decommissioned.
Starship graveyard.
Yeah.
Picking up Rex's beacon.
He's still got his Y-Wing. And he's in full armor.
Right on time.
I'm trying to think, was Braca where Cal Kestis was originally stationed? Oh god, just think what we could see here.
Venator-class ship. The first batch off the line.
First off the line, huh?
Just like
you,
Rex. Some really cool stuff here, I reckon. God, the music. It's like, it's such a desolate sounding soundtrack.
Something you can control. Nicely done.
You're up, Wrecker.
He doesn't like heights.
Anymore. I'm fine.
Oh, he's a big boy. Oh no. Holy shit. Yeah, shoot the beast. God, this would make a great setting for a horror game. I've always said a Star Wars horror game would probably go down really well.
So we left here with no one.
With Rex. You'd have Rex.
You're not going anywhere. You're stuck with us for the long run. Very few clones were immune to the effects of Order 66.
Oh, don't say it!
Rare.
Don't say
Jedi on color.
the O66 word.
We couldn't save the General, but at least we helped the Padawan escape.
No, stop talking about Jedi
Quite a bit.
and Order 66. Oh no.
Order 66.
Oh shit. Shit! It's just turned into a horror story. Oh no. I knew this would happen. Nice. Come on. Helmet off. Give him a knock on the noggin. Oh no. She's a clone. Oh, he's going to be behind her. Yep.
This isn't you, Wrecker. It's the inhibitor chip.
Conspiring with traitors makes you guilty of treason.
Oh no.
Good soldiers follow.
Come on, you son of a bitch. Oh. Thank you, Rex. That was too close. But entirely predictable.
I'm staying until he wakes up.
Oh, she's dedicated to him. They're best buddies. Oh, he's going to feel so guilty. She didn't shoot him either.
Listen, Omega. But still, I'm sorry.
Oh.
The mission's over.
They are so cute.
Copy that. I'll meet you at the rendezvous by the next rotation.
Oh, who's he talking to?
Figured you weren't out of the fight just yet. If you're ever in a bind, you know how to reach us.
Bye, Rex. It was a short-lived cameo.
Orders confirmed on the Jedi cruiser.
Uh-oh.
Notify the Empire.
Oh, no. Okay, the Empire's on the way, and it looks like we're probably going to get to see another Crosshair appearance in the next episode. This episode was, damn, I mean, it was great to see Rex again. And, you know, even though it was a short cameo, it was still great to have him back. But, you know, Wrecker and Omega's relationship is really stealing the show here. You know, it's such a pure and, you know, just enjoyable friendship to witness. You know, they're both just kind of like learning more about each other and you know, guiding each other through these different adventures. And, you know, they've now both really kind of gotten that close bond. And, you know, when Wrecker turned, which, you know, again, it was a predictable thing. It was a long time coming. And, you know, I think something like that would make a great setting for a horror Star Wars, either an episode or a game. I remember watching Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and there was one episode called Terok Nor, and it was a very similar premise. They went to an abandoned station, and one of the crew got affected by this material that enhanced their aggressive tendencies. And, you know, basically the whole episode was them hunting around their fellow teammates in this sort of dark, abandoned station. And it was a really, like, it had a proper horror vibe to it. And I think something like that would be great for a Star Wars, you know, episode or a game as a one-off, you know? Because you think about it, can you imagine being on a station like that, being hunted down by Vader or, you know, General Grievous, or, you know, even just like a monster from the Star Wars universe. It's got such potential. And, you know, yeah, the Wrecker thing, that was predictable. It's good that they've got their chips out now. That kind of nips that worry in the bud. But you could see it coming, like, when Wrecker was on the medbay bed, and they're, like, specifically mentioning Order 66 and Padawans and Jedi, it's like, yeah, okay, here we go. It's about time. He's gonna crack. And, you know, thankfully it worked out in the end. Everyone got the chips out, and, you know, it's an episode to move us on to the next phase, to kind of get over that element of the inhibitor chips, to continue to build that close relationship with Omega. And I'm listening to every interaction that she's having with the group. One of the things that really, you know, piqued my interest is the interaction with Hunter, where she was talking about being left alone. And, you know, I feel like that's going to come back in the future, because I'm convinced that the Bad Batch are not all going to survive this show. By the end of it, you know, Omega might be the only one left standing. And, you know, little hints like this, where they say they'll never leave her, you know, they're building to her becoming independent, and becoming an important character in the future. And, you know, at the end of the day, can you imagine the emotional scene if Wrecker dies and, you know, Omega has to, you know, find out or sees him die? They're definitely building up to something like that, because that's what Dave Filoni does. He builds up these amazing characters, but isn't afraid to kill them, or, you know, to give us that really tough emotional twist when needed. You know, just look at how many clones he killed off in the Clone Wars. He wasn't afraid to kill off Jedi either. You know, so really good episode. I really enjoyed it. Fairly predictable, but, you know, what isn't these days? So anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you for the next one.